legends of super legends, megastars of megastars. That's right. I'm talking to each and every one of you. We are super excited. So we have our next co-author for the book, Permission to Flourish. Stop beating yourself up. And we've got Jay. And if it wasn't for Jay, none of this would be possible. Must mean something like I said. Jay has left us. Jay has left me. So hopefully she should be back in a second. So we've got an amazing human, Katrina Wurm, and I've read her chapter a couple of times and just want to say, wow, 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 wow. All right, let's get Katrina out here. Katrina, a massive, ginormous, humongous welcome to you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, thank you so much for being here. So, Katrina, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So I'm an executive life coach for working mums. So I help mums get their head, house and home in order. Because I find mums have so much little time, especially this, in this day and age, in the digital age, and they're busy, they're trying to work, they're trying to organise their households, they're trying to organise their children. So I've come up with some really simple strategies and solutions to help them do that.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. And Katrina, can you give us, without saying too much, giving it away, can you give us an overview of your chapter?
So in Permission to Flourish, I talked about when life throws you curveballs, and we're all going to get curveballs in our life. Those things where you stop and your life sort of goes on hold for a period of time. Those big sort of life-changing moments where, as I say, you sort of get hit by the curveball, you feel the bruise, but you still have to get up. And I had one of those curveballs in 2010, and I realised very quickly that I'd sort of padded myself a little bit by having structure and organisation in place in the home to help me get through that. So I won't go into too much detail, but the curveball that hit me in 2010 was life-changing and actually set me on the path to where I am today, to actually becoming a life coach, which I've now been doing for over 7 years.
Oh, 7 years. I love that. And what was the writing process like?
Sorry, say again?
So what was the writing process like, going through it and writing, sharing the story?
So for me, whenever you share something personal and put it out into the world, you've really got to know the reason behind it. And the reason I decided to share my story in the book was to help other mums going through the same thing that I went through, and to let them know that they're not alone and that their feelings are valid and that they're actually allowed to take time out for themselves. And when you read in the chapter, you'll see that my time out was time to grieve. So we need, as mums, to be able to put ourselves first, and really that self-care is really essential for mums. It's not selfish. And I think in this day and age, we're so used to seeing Instagram feeds and Pinterest feeds and TikTok and YouTube of mums who seem to be doing it all and having it all. And we put ourselves at the same standard. Yet what we don't realise that behind the scenes, those mums have such a big support network. And so we're trying to live up to a standard that's not realistic and not practical. And what I want for mums to know is that you're doing the best job that you're doing right now for you and your kids. And it's okay and it's needed for you to sometimes take a step back and take time for yourself and just take time to breathe. So working through the chapter was quite, I guess, cathartic in a sense, to put it out there, to share such a personal story. But I wrote it for that one mum that will read it and go, thank you.
Brilliant. Oh, thank you. And Jay, has mentioned that she loved the collaboration with all of the authors. How was that experience for you, working with the other authors?
For me, I think a collaboration is really different because I have my own book. So I actually have my own book, which is Wear Out Your Warrior. The collaboration was different. So going through the same process with other people and actually learning from them and to be able to talk with them instead of just one-on-one doing it yourself, it's a very different environment, and having the support of a team behind you really helps. But I think just getting to know the other people in the book and getting to know their stories as well. Like there's so many stories out there that need to be told because, as I said, if they can help just one other person by reading somebody's story to know that they're not alone, I think there's real value in that.
Definitely, 100%. It only takes one person to change the world. And yeah, we appreciate you for being so open and vulnerable and having that courage to share, your story and what you've been through. Do you have any tips that you can share, like from your chapter? Maybe that's a quote or a couple of key takeaways.
So my tips really, I think, as I said, the first one is self-care essential and not selfish, because I think that's what we've been led to believe as mums. Mum guilt is a real thing and it doesn't need to be, because if we're not looking after ourselves first, if we fall over, then who's looking after our children and our partners and the household? So we really need, as mums, to be putting in time and investing back in ourselves so that we can be the best mum we can be, whatever that looks like. There's no perfect version of a mum. There's all these mum titles out there, from, concierge mum to helicopter mum to tiger mum, I think was a big one in the 90s. You're the best mum for your children. But to be the best mum for your children, you've got to be the best person for yourself too. And that's treating yourself like your own best friend and saying to yourself the things that you would say to your own best friend. So in my chapter, I talk about having organisation and systems. And those of you who work in corporate, you know what standard operating procedures are. That's what I help mothers bring into their home so that, as I say, everything's running on rails. So I want mums to sweat the small stuff. I know there's a quote, don't sweat the small stuff. I actually want mums to sweat the small stuff, so have all that organisation in place so that when a curveball does hit, that they actually can just take a step back, take a breath, yet they've got everything already set up, running on rails in their household.
Katrina, bringing the fire as usual, so thank you. All right, so I'm just thinking, we are approaching February. What are your plans for the rest of the year? What's on the horizon for you?
So for me, it's working with some pretty amazing mums. So I do a 5-day challenge, which is totally for free because I just want to get it out there. So working with mums one-on-one for 5 days, helping them bring or start to bring structure into their homes so they can sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel. So many mums are on a merry-go-round, especially with school. So school morning chaos is real. And I want mums to be able to sit down and actually finish a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in the morning and know that everything's set up and structured. So in the 5 days, I start helping mums to look at that. And I don't like the word time management because you actually can't manage time. It's going to happen whatever. But to manage themselves in relation to time so that everything is structured and organised. And we go through a process called Sunday Setup, which is actually getting everything organised for the week on a Sunday. And so that's what I'll be doing throughout this year from February onwards, is working one-on-one with mums for 5 days for free, just to help them start that process and see how it can actually change their life.
That sounds so valuable. Make sure that you get onto that. And I can see in the background your book, Wear Your Warrior. Where can people get a copy of that book?
So most online booksellers have it. Amazon, of course. So Amazon all around the world covers it. Most of your good bookstores, of course, in America and throughout England will cover it. But Amazon probably is the best place to go. So just go onto Amazon and type in Wear, W-E-A-R, Your Warrior.
I love that. And if there is somebody that's watching this and they're thinking, oh, I'd love to get involved in a anthology. Like, do you have any advice for anyone that might be sitting on the fence and they might be a bit apprehensive about sharing their story?
Look, I think it's a good way to start getting your voice out there. So, as I said, I started with my own book first, but I think for a first-time author, an anthology is really good because you're dipping your toe in and you've got so much support around you without going out on your own to start off with. And I think, and also going through the process of actually sharing your story, I think once you've shared it once, it gives you the confidence to keep sharing it, because we all need to hear your stories. Because as I said earlier, if your story can help just one mum, and that's why I share my story and that's why I speak on stage, and have been very, very honoured and fortunate, I think you can see some of them in the background, to win awards on international stages for what I do and for sharing my story. Because what I see is when you read my story, it was quite tragic. But what that taught me is that I was put on the earth for a reason. What happened in my story happened for a reason, and that reason is so I can be here to actually share my story and help other mums and just let them know that they're not alone. And I think when you share your own story, especially in the support and comfort of an anthology, it's sort of that first step. And then you can actually go on. And if you want to write your own book or publish your own book, you've already had that support and you know how the process works.
100%. So there's a bit of a delay at my side. My internet is absolutely shocking. I just want to say a massive, ginormous thank you to you for being so courageous. Because when I was reading your chapter, I was thinking, how do you keep going? How do you setback after setback after setback? And there's that Chinese proverb. I'm gonna butcher it. You get knocked down 7 times, but then you get up. I'm not even sure if it's like that, but it's what I mean. And what I'm gonna do now is just pass over to Jay for the final words.
Katrina, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being a part of Permission to Flourish. Your story has touched me so deeply because I can relate to it, and I'm not going to give it away. So for anyone who has not read this book, especially Katrina's story, I would highly, highly recommend it because your story has touched my heart so deeply because I can so relate. So thank you so much for being a part of it.
No, thank you. And I think for any mum or for anybody in particular that, you make a choice. So every morning I make a choice to wake up with a smile on my heart and joy in my face. And that's a choice. And sometimes some days are harder than others. And I call them pity party days where it's in, pajamas and Netflix chill day. But I allow myself one pity party day. And then the next day it's like, okay. So for me, I always have believed that, when God closes a door, he opens a window, or she opens a window. Whatever you believe in, a higher power or your own power, make a choice. You get to make a choice to be happy, and you get to make a choice to take the lessons. Would I want what happened to me to happen to anybody else? No, of course not. But I can't change it. So I could be sitting in a corner somewhere and, rocking. But I've made a choice to actually share my story. I've made a choice to wake up every day and be happy and grateful for my life. And to treat each day as if it's my last day. And just find joy, I think, in living, and find joy in just everyday things, sitting outside in the sunshine. It's quite warm here today where I am. You can probably tell by my red face. But sitting outside in the sunshine and actually taking joy from those moments of life. I talk about butterflies in my chapter. And wherever I go when the sun is shining, I'll always have a butterfly following me, or I'll have butterflies land on me. And I know that's a sign that what I'm doing actually has purpose. And this is what I was put on the earth to do, is to talk to other mums and hold their hands and, as I say, either walk beside them, walk behind them and push them, or walk in front of them and pull them. But I want to be the cheerleader for the mum out there that doesn't have somebody in their corner.
Thank you so
What a
much.
perfect
Oh.
way to put it. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.